back to another episode of Haitians in Medicine, brought to you by the SpeakupNetwork. Today we have Mr. Christopher Estime, and Chris Estime is actually, well, he goes by Chris. So Chris is actually a healthcare administrator where he owns his own home care agency where he employs nurses, home health aides, CNAs, and physical therapists, I believe, or just those three?
And LPNs.
And LPNs.
But now I work with physical therapists.
So, Chris, let's hear your story. How did you get started? Like, where did you start at that you got here now?
I started this like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Basically just made the decision to start it because I had some money saved up and went ahead and moved forward with it. This was in December 2017. And from there, we started it and here we are now. So,
did you have any healthcare background?
No, I had zero healthcare background. In fact, I thought that would have been a problem when we were starting up the agency when we had to go to the state, but it was not a problem. It seems to be an owner, you don't have to have any healthcare background.
Oh, wow. So, even with all of that, did you need any experience, to do it?
I say yes and no. You don't need experience to actually start up a home healthcare business and actually keep going forward. But I say yes because you do. Because imagine you start a business, you have no experience on how to pay people, you have no experience on how to market, you have no experience on how to find jobs for your employees and your contractors. So how you gonna run the agency? Mm-hmm. A lot of people, they might want to start the home health care agency, and they started it. They sit down and they probably think they're there. You're not there. A lot of companies that start shut down after 2-3 years. All right, so that's why I say yes. But to actually bring the paperwork to the state and say, hey, I want to open up a home health care agency, they don't really care. They'll be like, okay, cool, and they'll let you start it. But there is one thing: you can't, as an administrator, you can't really start a home health care agency without a registered nurse. So you've got to have some licensed professional, registered nurse. You can even be a physical therapist or occupational therapist to actually they'll run the medical side of the thing, so that the state will ask you for that kind of information. But besides that, as the owner, you don't need any experience. But I'd say you're going to need some type of experience. A lot of people that do HR work, office work, and even management in fast food restaurants like I used to do, that helps out a lot because it builds your customer service. And at the end of the day, when you're running a business, customer service, marketing, two top things that I really focus on. Those two things is what really runs a business. You know how to market to your customers, and you know how to provide good service.
Definitely. I remember when you used to be a manager at KFC back in the day.
Yeah, I used to be a manager.
So what sparked your interest into doing specific home care?
What really sparked my interest is I just didn't want to work anymore. I was a manager for 5 years at KFC, and when I was going on my 6th year, I said, whoa, hold up. I'm not going to be a manager here forever, because all the managers that work there, they work there for 10, 12, 13, 15, some even 20 years. So I'm like, if I get stuck over here, what am I going to do? I'm just going to be stuck over here, Plus, I didn't even have a degree at the time. So I was like, let me wait it out. And so I saved some money. I started saving money since 2016. By the time I quit my job, I had like $18,000 saved. And from there, I just used that money to build the company, and it was not enough. That's like a measly amount of money to even start it. I thought that was enough at first, but it wasn't enough. But it got us started.
Wow. The thing is that some people don't understand, they think that you can just wake up and do this. No, this takes a lot of planning. So what were some of the planning that went into just saying, what was some of the planning from the time that you said, I want to do this, to when it actually came to fruition?
What was some of the planning you said?
Yeah, because you said 18K wasn't even enough. You mentioned that it took 1 year to save, but I said what was some of the planning? You didn't just save the money and then that's it. What were some of the stuff that you do? What were did you have to do some research?
Oh yeah.
Did you have to?
Yeah. I think the only planning that I did was research on the internet, which doesn't provide much information. I went on Wikipedia. I researched it in different words. How do you start a home health care agency? what do you need for a home health care agency? A home health care agency, how do they market to their clients? So I'm asking Google all these questions, and they're giving you the basic answers, And I feel them because, nobody's going to give them, the internet's not going to give you the right hand on how to make money. You just got to use the amount of information they give you to actually get started, and that's what I did. But there were basic information. Honestly, you wouldn't know what to do just reading from Google. You would just get an idea. Because when I used to see that stuff on the internet, I'm like, oh, okay, sweet, we got this. And then I started a home health care agency. I remember my first client, when we first started the agency, I was not even licensed in the state, right? So that was a big problem, that client. It was an insurance client, right? And we worked with this client for 4 months. He was stage 4 cancer. He was supposed to die in 30 days, but he lasted 4 months. And when it came to billing, I had to bill the insurance. The insurance was asking me for my license, my state credentials. I didn't have no state credentials. All I had was Sunbiz. I went on Sunbiz, incorporated the LLC, and I thought that's all you needed based on what the Google told me I needed, right? It wasn't like that. So, we got into a little obstacle, a little roadblock, but we worked out everything with the family. But like I said, that's in that instance, you can't really just go by off Google. You gotta find people that's in the industry that can help you. And it's not much people in the industry that wants to help you, but I got lucky and I actually had somebody that was able to help me that was in the industry. So that helped me out a lot too.
Yeah, so you just talked about some of your hardships. So what are some, you just talked about one of your roadblocks. What are some of the hardships that you had to face as someone who didn't have experience, who just jumped into this, you just jumped right into it?
Well, honestly, the whole thing was just full of hardships. It's not easy. And honestly, this is the first year where you actually reap your benefits. We're in our 3rd year. Before that, it was tough. First year's tough, second year's tough. Some of the things, attaining clients, we didn't know how to do it. I had to pay a consultant $8,000 over the course of 2 months to find out how to actually obtain clients, right? And the thing is, he was ripping us off. He was ripping me off with $8,000 we had to pay him. And come to find out, he wasn't doing much. He was supposed to be some CEO wizard and stuff like that. But we learned from that experience when we spent that. He actually got us into a source that could connect us with clients, right? So at the end of the day, I look at it as, okay, I took an $8,000 loss, but he actually brought something to the table, right? So that's what finally opened the doors after I think 11 months of starting the business. That's when we started obtaining our clients. What we was doing before that, I was marketing on Craigslist. I was marketing on Facebook, not Instagram much, not Twitter, but Craigslist, Facebook to get clients. But that's not how you get them, right? You want to be in if you're in the medical field, you want to be where the medical people are at, right? You want to be in hospitals, you want to be in outpatient centers, you want to be in discharge centers, you want to be talking to case managers. And that's what you learn over the course of the years that we've been in business. But when you first start that, you just I'm going to do this, I'm going to get on the internet, I'm going to show everybody, some signs and they'll call me. It's not going to happen like that. People are not just going to call you. We didn't even have a Google My Business page set up, so we had no reviews online. So I was marketing my business to people. We was talking to leads and talking to referrals, and nobody really wanted to sign up with us because we didn't have no online views or online presence, And eventually, I figured that out. I'm like, wait, whoa, let me get some online presence. So we started putting stuff online like that. Now that's one of the things that I do on a daily basis. You've got to keep your online presence current. Right now on our website, I even got the coronavirus numbers every day. I'm going on the website, I'm adding the numbers. When the state adds numbers, I add the numbers. So when people go to my website, they're like, whoa, this guy's up to date on everything. So we actually had somebody call us last week, and they liked that, and they went ahead and signed up with us. But it's tough. The hardships is really tough because it's 627 agencies just in South Florida.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
so competition is crazy, but South Florida is a gold mine for this kind of stuff, right? The competition is crazy though, so you gotta figure out what everybody else is doing, and you gotta actually beat them, right? And how do I do that? I can't beat everybody, but what I do to actually try and beat my competitors is I put myself out there, as an owner, I put myself out there. Most of the owners, you don't see them. They already made their money, so they're probably in the back end. They got the RNs working for them. They got this and that working for them. My clients, they contact me directly. They talk to me directly. I'm there when they need me to be there. Unlike other agencies,
That's true.
Office staff. I don't want my office staff talking to my clients. I talk to them. I want them to feel comfortable. They talking to the owner. I make the last decision, right? Unless the office staff taking them around and I'll call you back and let's see what happened. No, tell them call me right now. I'll handle the problem. What's the problem? That's what I do. So I try to offer myself as a benefit. And a lot of the clients, they like that, because when you're working with home health agencies, you're just working with a case manager, or you're working with office staff, and they can't help you out. The best they could do is switch out your caregiver, right? But they're not really listening. And if they're not really listening, you're not getting good service. So I try to add that. There's a couple of things I add as well. I play around with it a little bit. Like most home health agencies, they're traditional. They're doing what they were doing 10 years ago. So we on the internet, we playing around with different things, different marketing videos. If you go on my Facebook page at SpeakupCare, you'll see we do a lot of different marketing videos. So we had a gym marketing video the other day, and that was a couple months ago, and it's different, and people don't like it. Like if you're a traditional home health agency, you're like, what is he doing? There's nothing about health in this video. There wasn't. And I did that on purpose. It's a subliminal marketing. You want to get your sign out there. You want to get your logo, right? When you see Red Cross logo, you're like, oh, that's Red Cross, right? You see Pepsi's logo, you're like, oh, that's Pepsi, right? So what I want to do is I want to make sure, like, in this market down here in South Florida, whenever you see that SpeakupCare logo, you're like, oh, yeah, that's that home health agency, right? A place for mom, big business, right? Yeah, you've heard of it, right? That's because they're just the logos everywhere. So it's subliminally in your subconscious. You don't even know it. So what you got to do is you got to put these logos in people's subconscious, so when the time comes that they need the service, they'll call you. I'm like, oh yeah, I heard of that 10 years ago. Let's call them. I heard they had good service, right? So that's what we try to do. We try to play around with the marketing a little bit. We're not doing traditional stuff. People doing postcards, flyers, and stuff like that. Those are cool, but we like the internet. That's the power we got these days, and thank God I'm young and I'm able to use the internet, so I use the internet to my power with the marketing, and that helps me overcome some hardships. But it's just always hard. This business is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy.
So, like, you just explained how the business is crazy. How do you keep afloat in a business like this?
I know a lot of people ask me that. Honestly, I don't even know how to do it. I can't answer that question directly. I just try to really take things one day at a time. As the problems come, I try to tackle them on as they come. But I don't really have a specific game plan to stay afloat. I don't even think I'm afloat. I think I'm underwater every day.
What are some of the challenges that you face right now?
Right now, challenges. I don't think I face any real challenges. We're doing a little better now. We're doing pretty good. I'd say one of the biggest challenges really is waiting on insurance payments. Probably it. Sometimes I make sure your cash flow. You're able to maintain cash flow until that insurance check comes in, right? Sometimes you can have $30,000 out in an insurance company, so your company got to pay $30,000 before your insurance check comes out. So can you manage that? Before, when I first started, I couldn't manage that. I remember when I first started, I had like $12,000 stuck in insurance payments. That means I had to come up with $12,000 before the insurance could pay me. We didn't even know if they were going to accept us or not. So that's one of the hardships, and that's a continuing hardship even for other home care agencies that I talk to. Other owners, that's a problem for them. Like, you got to make sure your private paid clients and your insurance clients match. Because if you got more insurance clients than private pay, you're not going to be able to stay stable, because insurance checks don't come. They don't come the next day. They come 30 days, 60 days later. Yeah. So that's probably one of the only challenges that we face.
Okay, Chris. So with all of that, and even with all the setbacks, how do you feel like this all ties into you and your Haitian community?
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't really feel like I'm really like I try to keep everything equal. Like, I don't really feel like I'm really like part of the Haitian community or part of the black community, or because I work with a wide variety of people, a wide variety of people with different cultures, different backgrounds. So when I'm going into somebody's home, I try to just see them as a person and they see me as a person. The only way I can say I probably help the Haitian community is by, trying to hire nurses, qualified nurses that are Haitian. I have a lot of these in South Florida. You have a lot of Haitian nurses, and we try to provide them with jobs. But when you say tie back in, it's not really much, that I'm really doing, right? Because when I as an owner, I try to keep everything just neutral, just keep everything standard. I don't really see color, even though everything is going on, but you just got to try it, because when you're a black owner, you already starting at the bottom. You start at a deficit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do more to attain clients. You got to do more to attain business. So I'm already doing that. So I'm just going to continue doing, and not try to see left, right, or what's going on. I try to act blind to all that stuff. Because when you start talking politics, you start talking about colors, cultures. People don't want to do business. People do. Some people might. So we try to just stay neutral with everything.
Okay, I understand. So you were talking about earlier how you just quit your job, took your life savings, and started this business. How did that go? How did you have to explain that to your Haitian parents?
It was kind of easy because I don't live with my parents at that time. I was already staying by myself. Okay. So I'd have to face them. You just had to tell them over the phone, and they the one thing about it, my dad, me and my dad won't talk much, but he always give me this kind of energy, he trusts what I'm doing, right? My mom, she's the crazy one. She talked a lot, so she was going crazy. She's like, oh my God, and I had no job for 6 months. I had no job trying to start this company, right? And we were just trying to start to see what was going on. So when I told my dad, he was just like, you sure it's what you want to do? I was like, I don't know what I want to do, but this is the right step. And he was just like, okay, I know you got it. I'm like, okay, sure, all right, let's do it. So, that was easy. My mom, she went crazy. She going crazy about it. So,
they always remember, every time you just want to do something that they don't want you doing, they always refer back to their journey. Hey, I did all this to come here. How you just gonna quit school this?
Even now, my mom still be thinking this is crazy. She's like, why don't you just go get a job? Because, I be so busy. She called me Mom, I'll call you back. Huh? You always gonna call me back. I'm like, I'm busy, I'm working. So she thinks this lifestyle is not regular. Right? She's like, you need to go work, a job, go work 10 to 2, whatever the hours are, go back home so you don't have to worry about nothing. Because I work home, I'm at home, late night. Remember that one night, called you at 11? I work until all my jobs are staffed, right? I can't go to sleep till my jobs are staffed. So that night I couldn't go to sleep till my jobs are staffed, Yeah. So
Chris called me at 11 o'clock at night, dead asleep, talking about, hey, can you go see this class? I was like, what?
Yeah, that happens every day. So it's like she thinks that's crazy. My dad, he never really congratulated me or nothing like that. But my mom had told me 2 or 3 weeks ago, she was talking on the phone, and my dad, he works a tough job, right? I haven't made enough money to retire my peoples yet, right? So they still working, their tough jobs. My mom's job is a little bit easier. My dad, he works with he drives those big yellow trucks and moves the sand and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Big dirts and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's like construction, but not really construction, because you can actually do it for different fields and stuff. So that's what he does. And he was working so hard a couple of weeks ago. He was on the phone with my mom, and he told my mom, he was like, I'm so happy my son don't have to work with people, and he's his own boss. So that's the only form of congratulation that I got from my dad. When my mom told me that, I was like, what? I told her, I said, Mom, what he said? Because I wanted her to repeat it, because bro, he never told me bro, I'm working so hard, man. Never told me I like what you're doing. You're working harder than what I was doing.
Parents for you.
So I that actually was a fuel, bro. When my mom told me that, I was like, I gotta keep going hard. Cause I'm working hard, but I feel I'm just working hard for myself and now for my family that's coming up, right? So I never really thought I had support from my parents, and I don't, not that much support. So. But hearing that my dad said that, I was like, oh, okay, so let's keep going, we'll stop.
Let's get this money.
Yeah.
So, as a healthcare administrator and as someone who's running a business like this, how do you keep yourself developed professionally? Are you like, what degree do you have? Like, are you like trying to always gain certificates? Do you attend conferences? Like, do you network?
In terms of professional appearance, I try to maintain a professional appearance no matter what. When I even on Saturdays, Sundays, when I go out, like at one time we linked up on a Sunday, I was well dressed, right? I prefer to go out in the public with my shirt tucked in, even if it's just a shirt or a dress shirt. I like that feeling of just being able to wear those comfortable clothes and just going out into the public. I used to do a lot of networking before Corona. I used to do a lot of networking and talking to people. I do try to talk to people in different businesses, different people in different areas. Not only my business, but I like to see what other people are doing, right? And thank God I work, one of my offices is in a building where a lot of businesses are in that building, so I try to network with a lot of people there, and professionally wise, so that's what I do. School wise, believe it or not, I don't have a bachelor's degree, right? I got like 113 credits at FAU. I'm supposed to graduate any time, but I just started going back to school to try and get my bachelor's. So I'm going to do that. I didn't really need it. I'm a public management major, so I had switched my major in 2015. I used to be a computer science major, so I used to code. I used to code a lot: Java code, C++. Those are my two things. I still can code. I can read code, right? But I'm not, probably not that good at coding no more because I haven't done it so long. But when I transferred from Florida Memorial to Florida Atlantic, the coding was superior. I was like, whoa, they weren't teaching me nothing back then. I come to Florida Atlantic, they teaching me. I'm like, this is real coding. So I had to get out of there because I had a C. My first coding class, I had a C in there. I never had a C. I was getting A's and B's at Flomo. And in fact, I was getting like mostly A's. I left Flomo Memorial with a 3.8 GPA, right? So I come to Flomo Memorial, my first semester, I'm getting like C's, C pluses, like I think I even had a D. I was like, whoa, this is tough. I had to get out of there. I'm like, yo, who's my advisor in this place? I gotta get out of there. And this is my first semester at Florida Atlantic. So I'm like, I gotta talk to somebody, that can get me out of here. So, I finally did that. I started sending emails to the financial aid advisor. I'm like, I know this ain't your department, but get me out of this degree. I want to go do something else. So I remember when I was setting up with, I sat down with somebody, a dean or something. Those people, you never really know who they are. They tell you their title, their name so quick, you just gotta try and remember, right? They never introduce themselves twice. So I sat down with the guy, and he was like, what do you really want to do? I said, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought I wanted to be a computer programmer. But now I want to do anything that don't got math in it. And so you start looking at the degrees that don't have math. He sat down with me. He was like, yo, let me see what degrees don't got math for you. I'm like, let me tell you something. I don't want to do any math at all. He was like, you got to do a little bit of math. So he found me on public management, public safety, criminal justice. I was like, see, these 3 degrees, they're pretty good on, not that much math. You stop at statistics. I'm like, statistics? Golly. I'm like, that sounds like a hard math, But I was like, you know what? All right, no problem. I'll go ahead and take on public management. So I switched my whole major. I didn't even know what public management was. It's not until I went home and I started looking at on the internet. I'm like, what can you do with a public management major? So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, I like this stuff anyway. So I did that. And my last math that I took at Florida Atlantic was statistics, and it was easy. I got an A in statistics. It was the easiest math ever. You just gotta make sure you follow the trend. I was like, hey, there's no real math here. Follow the trend. I'm good at following trends. So I was making it happen on that. But professionally, you just gotta keep everything mutual. Stay away from the internet, right? You don't want to argue with people on the internet. That's not professional no more. Like back then, you could argue, but when you're trying to do something in the world, you see people arguing on the internet, you just it might hurt your nerves, but you just gotta just look at it and keep going, and talk about it with your friends, because sometimes you gotta spit it out and let you know how you feel, right? So that's just that.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to do what you're doing and they see you as a success in the blueprint?
I would say, I wouldn't look at myself as a success.
No, like
I'm fighting every day.
Does.
What I would say is, you gotta figure out if this was something that you really want to do, right? Because this is a field, you don't want to just jump in it. It's gotta be something you really, really want to do. Because if you really, really want to do this, then when you get in and you start seeing the everyday challenges, you're going to know how to fight. You're going to know how to get through it, where to get through it. You see the bigger vision, you're going to know how to do it, right? But if this is something you just like want to get in just for monetary gains, don't even jump in, right? You want to make a difference in the community, go ahead and jump in. You know what? You know how to actually keep yourself calm and collected, even when everything else is storming around you. Get in, right? That's what I would tell you to do. But if it's just like, oh, dang, that's another route to make money quick. Yeah, okay.
3 years in.
Yeah. You're not going to make no money that quick. You know what I'm saying? That first year in business, I made $44,000. That was net profit. That was gross profit, right? That's all the money we made the first year, $44,000, which wasn't bad at the time because when I was running KFC as a manager, I'm making $30,000 a year. So I'm like, damn, first year in business, I made $44,000. I didn't really net it, that's not the net profit, but I was like, I could do this, right? So your first year, you're not gonna make no money. Second year was better, but it's still tough, So this year was very promising, but we had this growing stuff tremendously, like stock growth. So we're trying to come back from that right now, but your heart gotta be really into it. I don't even know if my heart's really into it, but I know what I want to do, so I keep going. I keep moving forward, and I like really helping people out. There's some really, really sick people out there. Some really sick.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about like mindset. I'm talking about physically.
No, yeah, definitely.
That needs help, and then they look for you to get somebody there to help them out, right? So you gotta be able to help those people out. And a lot of my clients, they treat me with respect. Mm-hmm. They treat me with respect.
They don't talk to you because you're like the white man.
Yeah, a lot of my clients do.
Thank you, Chris, for coming today. So, Chris, let the people know where they can find you or your business on the social media.
Oh yeah, so everything's Senocare, SENOCARE. So you can Google us, and like our Facebook page, our website Senocare now. If we have any RNs listening, I'm always hiring RNs.
Yes, he is.
I like RNs that are motivated and smart, not the lazy ones. I don't like any lazy people. So if you're looking for a job, CNAs too. If you're a CNA, you're trying to get your RN license, give me a call and see what we got. But if you're an RN, we like that. We hire RNs as much as we can. Definitely. Nehemie, she's been really good. She's been helping me out a lot. I don't know how to made it without Nehemie right now. She came in like 3 weeks ago, and we just started like getting bombs everywhere. So she's been fitting in where she can. So it's very helpful. I like people like that, that help me. I got a lot of my RNs. They're like they love me. They're like Chris. So they help me out with a lot of situations. Most of the RNs that work in home care work at a hospital, so their schedule is limited, but they try to come in when they can. So it's good.
This is the Haitian Medicine Podcast brought to you by the Speak Up Network. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Haitians in Medicine and on YouTube at Blood Knows Best. We are on iTunes, Spotify. Thank you for listening.